Whilst on the road with his performers, Maximus is ensuring word of the Blood Harvest Ball is spread to all fellow vampires of the highest standing along the way. Maximus has stopped off at a tavern on his return journey to Garrelos, where the caravan is currently located. His business in Drevin, that is to say, Necrotia, is now settled, and now he wishes to drink to the endeavour. Unfortunately for him, a particular individual has learnt of this somewhat prestigious event, and now they wish to muscle in, not yet realizing their former employer has agreed to become involved in the festivities. Barkeep, this ale is bland. I suggest you replace it on the house, or by the powers, I shall become very disagreeable.
If you know what's best for you, Maximus, you'll keep your tone light. I understand a group of peacekeepers are on their way to Ondar City and need a rest stop. They've chosen this tavern of all places, and it would not be good for both of us if they found a fight taking place.
I suppose you have a point. Besides, I'm in no mood this evening for a brawl. Look, just replace my ale with something that has a little more kick to it, and I'll find myself a nice quiet booth to doze off in.
I'm happy if you're happy, Maximus. There you are. A nice fresh pint of ale for you. I can organise some food for you if you're interested. I imagine you'd like a bite to tide you over.
No thanks. I grabbed a bit to eat when I reached Fort Titan, so that makes my last feed-in about 2 days ago.
You managed to feed Fort Titan? How did you do it?
You'll be surprised to know that their garrison is perhaps somewhat more relaxed than many people realise. They don't seem to care about travellers, and if one perhaps disappears without a trace, they claim they don't have time nor the resources to investigate. All the better for a hungry vampire. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take my pint, find a quiet booth, and have myself a snooze. If I'm able to get any peace. Maximus sits himself down with his back to the door. He hears the door open and the small entry bell ring that indicates to the barkeep that he has a new customer. However, the newcomer does not stop at the bar. Maximus can hear the figure walking over to his booth, and then the voice that fills him with pure anger drifts through the air.
Well, Maximus, I am so glad to see you once more. It has been a long time, my friend.
No, I don't want anything to do with you this time. I should have killed you when I had the opportunity. Letting you live has been one of the biggest mistakes I have ever made.
Maximus, you wound me so with your words. I have come here in good faith to give you my assistance, and you reject me in such ungentlemanly manner. You should treat your guests with greater respect.
You are the last person on this planet whom I would ever show any respect towards. You disgust me on so many levels. You are repulsive, arrogant, manipulative, untrustworthy, and perhaps the most annoying individual I have ever had the most displeasure of knowing. Good day to you.
That is quite the pity. I have something that might interest you greatly. perhaps even help to elevate you up to the higher levels of power and control in Drevin.
Now you listen to me, Rafik. I don't have time for your ridiculous games, nor your foolish ideas. Whatever it is, I am not buying, because remember this, and remember this very well. You work for me. I do not make purchases from you because whatever you have to sell is either stolen or acquired through grave robbing, and only one individual sanctions that amongst my kind, and that is Lord Volkov himself.
Then perhaps you can fill me in on the upcoming event. It sounds most exciting.
What upcoming event?
Why, the Blood Harvest Ball, of course. I hear there will be many rich, powerful and influential vampires present. I would so love to mingle amongst them, offering my services.
How did you ever come to know of the Blood Harvest Ball? It is not public knowledge, and only vampires are permitted to attend.
Oh, I have my methods. You forget I can be very, very persuasive.
You make me sick.
Tell me, will the lesser vampire kin be present? Or is it open to anyone?
You will have nothing to do with it, as far as I'm concerned. If I catch you within a mile of the city when the ball is at its peak, I will personally take great pleasure in gutting you myself. And don't think I've not fantasized about gutting you. Slowly.
But you need a man of business present. You forget that it is used to make business propositions and create financial transactions. It is the perfect opportunity to take on special tasks for the vampire elite. Believe me, Maximus, I'm needed there.
You are not needed anywhere. I suspected you might show your ugly face to me, and I have guaranteed Lord Volkov that you will remain away from the Blood Harvest Ball. Because, as I said, I will gut you like a fish.
I see. So I take it you will be on the watch for my presence. It really does appear you wish for me to stay away from the ball. Very well. I know when I'm not desired. But remember this, Maximus. You need me more than I need you. I can survive without you quite comfortably.
Oh, I think I'm going to survive quite well myself, without your ugly face anywhere near me. Now, I suggest you leave before I pick you up by the scruff of your neck and launch you out of here myself.
As you so wish, Maximus. However, I shall be present at the Blood Harvest Ball, whether you like it or not. I will find my way into the event, and I will make my line of business to your guests. You will be unable to stop me.
Rafik walks out of the bar. The barkeep moves over to talk to Maximus.
Who was that rather odious little man?
Just someone who likes to make my life difficult. He used to work for the Shadow Court.
Lord Volkov has allowed the Shadow Court into Drevin, hasn't he? Why didn't you tell your friend?
Because Corvus wants my friend's head on a silver platter, and I hope that I will be the one to give it to him. That's why I have placed down the gauntlet.
You mean you expected him to attend regardless of what you said?
If I know Rafik, He will move the mountains to get into something as important as the Blood Harvest Ball. Though he won't be having a grand time with the other guests. He'll be a guest of General Jericho until Corvus arrives to collect him. Maximus has a problem on his hands with the arrival of Rafik. Whilst the rogue is not considered a threat, he is a greater headache than Maximus makes him out to be. However, he is right that Corvus will want Rafik captured and handed over to him, so that he can be punished for betraying the Shadow Court. Meanwhile, in Croatia, Lord Volkov has contacted one of his oldest and greatest friends. The Ancient One has arrived, and it is said he is the first true vampire. Volkov wants to make sure he is given the reception his guest deserves. It is good to have your presence once again in Drevin, my master. I trust you have kept well.
I have been restless as of late. Vladimir? I have received grim news that other factions are working against us.
You have genuine need to be concerned, my master. Although I have taken matters into my hands and dispatched supporters of our cause to handle against these other factions.
That reassures me greatly. You have always been my most loyal and truthful protege. I am glad I chose you over your stepbrother to become leader of the vampires. Is he still around?
Who, my lord?
Your stepbrother, of course. I had it on good terms that he had settled within the city and had become a respected member of the Vampire Council.
My master, my stepbrother was murdered about 200 years ago by agents of the monarchy. They turned him to dust using mirrors and magnifiers. I understand they captured him during the Battle of Taros. We considered mounting a rescue effort, but the battle cost us greater in numbers than we anticipated. We were not strong enough to form a rescue committee.
That is now the past. What is has happened, and what will happen shall happen.
I trust you will attend the Blood Harvest Ball, my master.
I, the Ancient One, miss out on a grand ball? Don't be ridiculous. Of course I shall be there. I have attended every grand ball held since the founding of this city over 7,000 years ago. Of course, you are far too young to remember the Antius Empire. The city was known as... Oh, now what was it known as at the time? Ah well, it doesn't matter. What matters is back then we vampires had greater influence than we do now. In fact, the Antius Empire was practically ruled by the vampires until the Great War that brought the empire to a destructive end. Drevin is not even the city it was at its founding, so it's pointless trying to make a comparison anyway. Besides, we lost everything at the end of the war, and when the Ondarian monarchy was founded over 1,000 years ago, we were forced into hiding. We've done so ever since until you arrived and took control of this city. The vampire race owes you a great debt, Vladimir.
I am honored to take on the mantle of leader of the vampires.
And so you should be, Vladimir. You always had the making of a fine leader, and I'm proud to have helped build up your influence. We need more vampires like you. I hear you have finally dealt with Valna too. Much more obedient, is he?
Much more, my master. The obedience machine worked a charm. He is now seated upon the council, though I have yet to find an official capacity for him.
Very good, Vladimir. And what of Maximus? Is he still your representative on the road? I hear he's formed a new caravan, though I hear he is not having much luck with recruitment for it.
The caravan makes the perfect cover story for his real mission. Though I admit, I would like to see him gain a few more recruits to help keep the capacity balanced. He has more workers than performers, and I believe some people are beginning to ask questions as to the validity of the group. It would undermine the cover story for his real mission.
I foresee that eventually they shall flock to him. These things take time. However, knowing Maximus as well as I do, he is tenacious. He is a showman. For all time I have known him, I have never seen him allow a setback to overtake him. He shall bide his time, no doubt, and when he finally receives the recognition he deserves, that will be when the big time shall strike rich for him.
Most eloquently put, my master. Most eloquent indeed. I feel Maximus would be most encouraged by your gracious words.
Now, tell me, what of my son? Does he serve you dutifully? Does he serve you with honor and respect?
The general is serving me well. I have granted him the highest honor as leader of my most elite guard. Only the finest vampires are chosen, and only those most loyal to me are accepted within its ranks, once they have proven their loyalty.
I am delighted to know that Jericho is serving you well, Vladimir. I have high hopes for him. Such a position will teach him discipline. He is still young for a vampire, and therefore inexperienced in some of the finer forms of etiquette we are expected to undertake.
That is why I granted him the position of general. His mannerisms are, in all honesty, too rough for him to be accepted into polite vampire society. But his determination and military prowess has molded him perfectly to lead the vampire armies in the war that is to come. However, at this time, he is my personal bodyguard and my chief interrogator. I know he takes great pleasure in his latter duties. He has quite the thirst for causing pain.
That pleases me more than you could possibly imagine, Vladimir. And now I must return to my chambers to rest and prepare myself, though there is still time before the Blood Harvest Ball takes place. Several months, in fact. I wish to make certain that my mind is clear for all that tedious conversation that I will have to endure. At least you shall be present. I enjoy conversing with you, Vladimir. Farewell. I shall see you at the Blood Harvest Ball when it takes place.
I will be honored to see you there, my master. With the Ancient One having arisen early once again to make his presence known at the Blood Harvest Ball, Lord Volkov feels a sense of smug satisfaction. With his lord and master present, Volkov knows that his influence will increase at the event, due to the mind powers the Ancient One can wield. If Volkov can somehow hone those talents upon his fellow vampires, whose loyalty remains questionable, then he may be able to find out just how many are against his leadership, and who they really want in his place. However, this is not the primary purpose of the ball. After all, it's the celebration of the first tasting of produce from the reservoir beneath the city. Many slaves will be selected and drained for the pleasure and enjoyment of many a vampire, and not a single bite will be required. Though perhaps there will be some traditionalists who wish to take a bite once in a while from the servants.
Volkov is somewhat unsatisfied at the moment. Whilst the preparation for the Blood Harvest Ball is progressing well, it seems one or two members of the Vampire Council are a little less enthusiastic about the endeavour. It seems Boris has decided to sow the seeds of dissent among some of the more senior vampires, proving Volkov's belief that his former friend is working against him. Therefore, Volkov has decided to take the guidance of one of his younger council members and has approached Tarvek, a somewhat eager and obedient vampire who is willing to prove himself entirely. He enters the room and addresses Volkov in a strange, snake-like voice.
You wish to see me, my lord? Are you in need of my services?
Indeed, Tarvek. It seems Boris has somewhat betrayed me and is currently working towards undermining me in regard to the Blood Harvest Ball. He appears to have turned some of the senior vampires against me.
And you need someone to return them to the fold. Is that your requirement?
I would send in Jericho. However, I feel this should not be dealt with a heavy hand. I need someone with a level of influence, someone who can persuade them to return their loyalty to me.
I am honored that you require my skill. I assume there will be several individuals I will need to converse with.
Karak, Aranax, and Strak. They are the three you will need to deal with. Remember that each one of them has specific desires. Play into that, and they will return their loyalty to me instantly. If not, remind them what happened to Harker.
That feels like such a long time ago. To think he and Boris worked together to bring the first victims of the blood harvest before the slaves had become ready. It feels so long ago.
It's a pity that Harker decided to turn against me. You know, of course, he is the only vampire to be part of the blood harvest, literally.
I never truly understood that, my lord, considering we don't have blood flowing through our veins. What did you drain him of as his punishment?
His vampiric essence. There is a special reservoir underneath the palace for such energy. Any vampire who betrays me in any way or form shall be fed to this reservoir. And upon a day of the Blood Harvest Ball, a selected number of vampires will be granted access to this gathered essence. Of course, as host, I gain first access.
That goes without saying, my lord. It would be ill-mannered of any vampire to place themselves before you and your majestic energy.
I would cease with the boot-licking, Tarvek. It's very unbecoming of you. Just promise me that you will speak with Karak, Aranax, and Strak. Remind them who it is they really answer towards. If they refuse and continue to rebel against me, remind them of the palace reservoir.
It shall be done, my lord. I shall return with good news and loyal subjects once again.
see to it that you do. I grow tired of this situation. If we do not make sure we have it under control again, we could lose everything we have built over the centuries. Boris must not succeed in undermining my leadership.
Indeed, my lord. I shall attend to this matter immediately.
Meanwhile, Maximus has returned to Garrulus to rejoin the caravan. With it being still in its residency in the city, Maximus decides to do a little window shopping. His coin purse bulges with takings from the previous night's show. He knew it was a good idea to stop in the City of Culture. At least they appreciate what he is bringing them, unlike some of the other venues they are yet to travel towards. He spies a rather small, shabby but welcoming shop. Something about it seems familiar. He enters, and a face he has not seen for years greets him. It stops him in his tracks at first, as he thought this person long dead.
Ah, good morning, my friend, and welcome. Well, well, well. Look who we have in my humble little shop. If it isn't young Maximus.
Octavius Petrovich. It's been a long time. Does your brother know you're alive and well?
I very much doubt it. Not that I care about him. Last I heard, you sent in some rather excitable rogues. I'm surprised he managed to get out with his life.
He owes me over 100,000 krell. To be honest, I doubt he will pay up, which means every time we cross paths, your brother and I shall have quite the large amount of fun.
That I have no doubt about. If I cared about him, I'd pay his debt. I'm doing quite well on the black market smuggling trade. Unfortunately, I've had to swallow my pride and use the Shadow Court as my movers. However, they are quite unaware one of their best customers is in fact a vampire.
You know something, Octavius? I think we can use that network to my advantage.
Your advantage? How so?
Because of the Blood Harvest Ball, that's how. I need a reliable service to deliver invitations, but as my father pointed out, we're unable to use conventional methods. Too many questions would be asked. However, if we can use the Shadow Court to do the legwork for us, it would save us time. Cost is no object. My father says we can pay handsomely to anyone who is willing to accept the task.
But what if Corvus is aware of the Blood Harvest Ball? News of it spreading through our community like wildfire. Eventually it'll reach the ears of the vampire hunters, who will no doubt do everything they can to put a stop to it.
Well, between you and I, and this is only between you and I, Corvus already knows about the Blood Harvest, as do the vampire hunters. However, we have a plan in place to ensure that the hunter agent is taken down with the help of the Assassin's Guild. It is our intention to sow the seeds of confusion and discontent amongst the Ordo Interroitum to plunge it into a civil war.
You've got it all worked out then. I guess Volkov knows more than he's letting on.
And just who have you been talking to about Lord Volkov?
Boris. He comes here every so often to purchase talismans and potions. Apparently he's working on one especially for Lord Volkov at the moment.
Is he now? Very interesting indeed. Thank you for that snippet of information. Very useful to me.
Have I said something wrong, Maximus?
Not to me, no. In fact, you said something that will work to my advantage very well indeed. But it will cost another vampire dearly. Very dearly, in fact. I think this is going to make the Blood Harvest Ball quite interesting and a lot more entertaining.
Oh, good. For a moment I was worried. Now, is there anything you'd like to purchase? I have a fine array of drinking goblets.
What about that dagger on the wall there?
Oh, what about this dagger indeed? It's a rare and expensive artifact, said to have killed General Clark in the final days of the civil war fought by the Tyrant King. Some believe this dagger belonged to the Tyrant King himself, in fact, though there is no proof.
Even if there is no proof, I'm interested. How much do you want for it?
25,000 krill is my price. A bargain, if I'm honest. I've had to drop the price because when people ask its history, they suddenly lose interest. I thought 50,000 krill was too much in the end.
It wouldn't surprise me. Very well, wrap it up and I'll take it with me right now. I have a place in my personal quarters back at the caravan where it will sit with honour. Here's the 25,000 you ask for.
Right away, Maximus. I'm delighted I've finally been able to get rid of the wretched thing. Feel like it's been plaguing my shop since I acquired it.
I wonder why.
Sorry, Maximus. Did you say something?
Just thinking out loud. Now, hurry up with that dagger. I'm eager to put it on display immediately. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way. Maximus steps outside and opens up the package to look at the dagger. He beckons over one of his personal caravan messengers, who has been waiting outside. I want you to go to Necrotia and inform Lord Volkov that we finally have the dagger. We'll be able to carry out the ritual at the Blood Harvest Ball as he anticipated. It will make it all the sweeter when we have the Ordo Interroitum agent as our prisoner. It is clear now that the dagger is significant to the vampires, but what is this ritual referred to by Maximus to his messenger? Why is it important it takes place during the Blood Harvest Ball? Will it even take place? Not even Maximus is certain, but it gives him peace of mind to know that if any other members of the Vampire Council have turned against his father, then the presence of the dagger will convince them otherwise, even if Volkov has had to gain the assistance of another to persuade them. However, a few days later in the city of Trigon, Geoffrey and Garen have received word that the Blood Harvest Ball is taking place, and that one of their most prestigious customers is requiring special equipment to be created for a new agent. This is a bad business, but we're not the only ones in it. When I received word that the vampire hunters were needing equipment for a new recruit, I nearly fell out of my chair. I thought they had all their recruits. Plus I thought they had their own resources to arm and protect their members. They didn't want our help here in Trigon. It seems those falls in Ondar City do want our help now. They know about our specialised forging techniques.
Well, what do they want specifically from us? How much are they willing to pay? Our services don't come for nothing.
They want a lot, Garen. They want armour and weapons. It appears they're sending someone on a fool's errand, right into the epicentre of the beast.
You don't mean?
Yep. They're sending their agents into the heart of Necrotia itself. To be honest, they'd be better off wandering into a den of dinophants on 8.
Don't think I like the sound of that.
Well, how do you think I feel? The agent is bound to get captured, and our armour and weapons fall into the hands of the vampires. You know what that means if that happens. Volkov can reverse engineer our work and create armour and weapons for his own army. Just think, an entire force of vampires clad in Trigon-type armour. No, I'm not standing for it. We've come too far for it to fall into enemy hands.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna cut corners. We send them any old piece of armour, a lick of paint to create the crest, and a few quick weapon forges. Who cares if they fall apart? They only have to take out at least one vampire. We ought to make it appear functional during the demonstration stage. These vampire hunters need to be shown who's supplying them, and why they shouldn't make such demands upon us. They, being a brand new faction, has made them arrogant, forceful. As a proud, strong traditionalist, I won't stand for such upstarts telling us our job.
This is very much unlike you. Normally you take such pride in our work. You said it yourself that Trigon is one of the finest creators of armour and weapons in the Ondarian monarchy.
The only creators of armour and weapons in the Ondarian monarchy. However, as I've said, I'm not going to allow any damned vampire to take my work and use it for themselves. These vampire hunters ask too much of us, and I'm not going to stand for it. Damned be their agent.
I see your point. We do pour our hearts and souls into what we create after all. Look, perhaps we can compromise with them. Instead of sending them in cheap inferior armour, perhaps we can give them something a little more middle of the road?
Sorry, Garen. My mind's made up. Our forges are overworked as it is at the moment.
Agreed. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to visit the North Forge to discuss the special order from the Grand Mage Artem. Apparently, he needs some staves he can enchant for a special mission he's about to undertake with his apprentice.
Very well. Report back to me when you're finished. I've some paperwork to finish up here, and then I'll be sending correspondence to the Monarch's Chamber Council.
Very good. I'll speak with you later.
Garen leaves the office with Geoffrey on his own. His demeanour changes, but so too does his appearance, and the truth reveals itself. It seems Garen is much easier to manipulate than I first anticipated. Good. He will become a most useful stool pigeon for our scheme. The good news is Maximus has the dagger, and we are one step closer to our desired victory. The monarchy is doomed. Will Tarvek succeed in reuniting the Vampire Council? Will Volkov have greater problems on his hands? Just how significant is the dagger? And is it even genuine like Maximus has been told? Also, what has happened to the real Geoffrey of Trigon? A man usually so loyal to the monarchy that his alleged change of heart towards the vampire hunters should have told Garen to stand firm. It seems everything is going in the right direction for the vampires, and as the clock ticks down to the Blood Harvest Ball, it seems time is also ticking downwards for the monarchy and its people.
News is travelling fast around the city of Necrotia. It appears that the knowledge of a traitor amongst the Vampire Council has leaked. Many suspect that Lord Volkov has put about this rumour to force the hand of the other council members, either to remain loyal to him or to accelerate any plot they may have, thus causing them to make a mistake. Volkov is concerned that matters are moving too slowly, and has dispatched one of his loyal servants to deal with the problem. However, he needs someone with tact and guile. General Jericho is definitely not the vampire for this task. His heavy-handed methods leave a lot to be desired, and his tone of voice is considered undiplomatic. Therefore, Tarvek has been chosen for the task. At the moment, he is meeting with Aranax, Strack, and Karek to try and smooth over troubled waters. These are the 3 vampires he needs on Lord Volkov's side.
So, you see, gentlemen, Lord Volkov needs your undivided loyalty. The Council needs to be united as one. Boris is but a cog in a great machine, and our Lord and Master shall not tolerate his insolence.
I don't see why we should support Lord Volkov. He has brought us nothing. We are nowhere closer to finding this supposed crown of the Tyrant King, even if it exists.
I agree with Aranax. It is necessary to take all things into account. We need to consider the fact that Lord Volkov has led us for over 700 years, and has nothing to show for it.
However, gentlemen, let us not forget that he does have the support of the Ancient One. And if the Ancient One has faith in Volkov, perhaps we ought to at least consider the possibility that results are becoming apparent.
We have received word that Maximus has acquired the dagger used to kill General Clark and wielded by the Tyrant King himself.
If that is so, then we can have every confidence that the first cut shall be made as per the prophecy.
Let us not be too hasty. We do not yet know if the dagger is truly genuine. We only have the word of Maximus that it is. Knowing he is a son of Volkov, he may be using this tale to garner influence for himself and his father.
When Maximus brings the dagger to the city, I believe we must examine the artifact with the utmost scrutiny. If it is genuine, then we have nothing to gain from our plotting. But if it is fake, then I suggest we hold our cards close to our chests.
You do realize that I have to relay this conversation back to Lord Volkov.
And that is why we put a memory draft in your drink. I can see your eyes are getting heavy. Sleep now, and forget everything we have discussed.
I suggest we allow Sleeping Beauty to remain here. We must report back to Boris. That dagger must not reach Drevin at any cost.
I agree, regardless of its genuine nature, that the dagger has been found is bad enough. If Volkov presents it to the city for the first cut ceremony, he will be the undoubtful leader of the vampires, and we cannot allow that to happen.
With Boris leading, we will have a far stronger council, one that will see an immediate end to the Ondarian monarchy.
Well, Tarvek, please tell me that the memory draft has had no effect upon you.
Those fools forget I am not entirely vampire. I am a serpent-born vampire. Therefore, I am immune to toxins. I have heard every single thing they have said. They confirm that Boris plans to overthrow you, and they plan to stop Maximus from bringing in the dagger to the city. Well, that's a pity for them, because the dagger is already here, Tarvek.
Indeed. Maximus made certain to bring the dagger immediately to the secure vault.
Those fools are so blinded by the treachery of Boris that they fail to remember one thing. Maximus has the ability to travel instantaneously from one location to another. If they think he's going to travel around with an artifact as important as the dagger of the Tyrant King until the day of the Blood Harvest Ball and the first cut, then they are much more foolish than I realized. I am impressed at the speed and due diligence carried out by Maximus. Though what will he do now?
His search for the crown continues. He will travel along the roads to each city to find clues towards its exact location. The caravan is working as the perfect cover, plus it's bringing some extra coin along the way to help fund the Blood Harvest Ball. Personally, I never believed the entire endeavor would be as popular as it's proving to be.
Ah, yes. I am aware of this project, as you call it. Though what it may be a projection of, I do not fully understand. It matters not. We have the dagger. It is safe and protected. The traitors are unaware of its delivery to the city, and therefore we can act accordingly to our own plans to counter their treason. So, my lord, what do you think we should do about Boris and his followers? Personally, I would like to deal with them myself in my own special manner. I have plenty of ideas I can come up with that would be both creative and tormenting for them to experience.
For the time being, Jericho, Tarvek, we do nothing at all. They don't know we have the dagger already, and Maximus is going to act as the decoy. His guards are highly trained to fight off assassins and attackers. He's picked the best of the best for his mission out there on the road. He may appear to be at first, but my son is no fool. He knows what he's doing.
And then we strike.
Then we strike. Boris has long been a cause for concern, but now he is making his move. The only problem for him is that he is putting himself into checkmate.
I look forward to it, my lord.
Now, if you excuse me, I have an astral projection to perform.
It is no surprise that we turn our attention to Maximus, who at the moment is busy drowning his sorrows in one of the taverns in Garrelos. The last few performances have not, it seems, gone according to plan, and now he finds himself short of coin. He needs to make some quick cash if he wants to make sure he can pay his performers and the rest of his staff. It just so happens that an opportunity may have come staggering through the door.
Barkeep! Barkeep! Where are you with my beer? Serve me new.
Well now, it looks like I may have found myself an easy target.
The drunkard spots Maximus looking at him and staggers over to talk.
Eh? You're looking at me, eh? Feeling sorry for poor old Clipsy Bobblong.
I beg your pardon?
That's right. That's my name. Trap Groggle Bear.
Well, okay. Say, I tell you what, how would you like to help me make some easy coin?
Might you some easy coin?
There's an ale in it for you if you do.
Then spike friend, tell old Yelfraftiga pal what he can do for bear.
See that rather wealthy looking man sitting in the corner over there? He dropped his dagger in the street. I think he would give you a beer if you returned it to him. But you have to return it to him in a special way.
How?
Well, you see, he has a special storage compartment in his back. All you have to do is place the blade into his back. It may take several attempts to get it right, but once you're done, I'm sure he will be most grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that. I'll do what you said. I can see him leave now. I'll take the dagger and I'll return it to him.
Wait for him to go down the alleyway. That way you have the best chance of returning it to him. And remember, you may not find the slot on your first attempt, so try several times.
No, plebsgov. Have the beer waiting for me.
What a complete idiot. Once he's performed the task, I simply have to locate him, act as a witness to the murder. He's so drunk he won't even remember who told him to do it. All I have to do is collect the bounty that will no doubt be set upon the discovery of the body. I just need to bide my time. Give it a few minutes. He'll be easy to find once he realises he's been tricked, because I know exactly where he will go to hide. The caravan. Wait a minute. Looks like my new friend has dropped something. I don't think I need to bother about that bounty. If I'm not mistaken, this is something far more precious and might help garner some more support from my father. If I sell it to the right person, I could make enough coin to pay off my people for months, and enough to send back to support the Blood Harvest Ball. It's funny, but I almost forgot about that event. I should be on the lookout for things I can send back to Drevin for the ball. Perhaps this little trinket will help me along the way. Mind you, I think I'll collect the bounty anyway, just for some extra pocket money. Meanwhile, in the forest realm, General Treek is discussing a matter of importance with Governor Parvin over the illegal mining of crystals in the mountains to the west. It appears infiltrators unknown have managed to slip past the border forts and have successfully accessed one of the long-disused ancient mines. However, it's what was taken from the mine that concerns the General much more than the infiltration.
And you say these crimson rubies are of great importance?
That is correct. Without them, we are unable to accurately run our map rooms.
Map rooms? How does a crimson ruby help with your map rooms?
We need these rubies to focus sunlight safely through the room to protect the integrity of all the maps they contain. Red light protects them due to their ancient nature.
I see. Fascinating. Do you have any suspects?
There is only one group I can think of who would want crimson rubies. The vampires. No doubt Lord Volkov in the Crochet has a plan to use them.
I don't understand. What would the vampires want with rubies? What would they use them for?
In the central province, or as you know it, the monarchy, they are known as blood rubies. Such is their rich, deep red nature. I can only imagine the vampires need them for some nefarious scheme, such as their unique properties.
Perhaps they just want to make them into jewellery.
Would you please stop to listen to yourself for a moment? Whilst vampires adore jewellery, these particular rubies cannot be cut to the size most jewellers work with. They are used as focusing lenses. That is very much all they're good for, which means the vampires are planning something.
Treek! I think you're panicking too early. We don't even know if it was the vampires who infiltrated the forest realm. We don't even know if they were ones who accessed the mine. Look, let me put some of my people onto it to investigate if it will put your mind at ease.
With your permission, Governor, I wish to carry out my own investigation. Whilst you represent the monarchy here in Varuna, this city is still under the leadership of the Governess Royal. Therefore, my people still rule over Juridia.
Juridia?
Don't make me explain myself to you, Governor. We have tolerated the occupation of the monarchy for centuries. The threat of the vampires now begins to show cracks in your leadership, and in time we could take this land back from you whenever we wish.
I see. So, that's how it's going to be, is it, Treek? Then I suggest you had better move forward and get your investigation underway. I expect a full copy of your report once it is completed.
You shall, Governor. You shall.
Pathetic fool. His arrogance blinds him to the real truth. The Ondarian monarchy can't even see it. We're beginning to slowly take control of each province, right under their noses. And when the time is right, we shall reveal ourselves and take full control in the name of Lord Volkov.
It shall be all the sweeter when it happens. The monarchy shall never expect it.
My lord, I am honored that you have taken time to come to me.
I am not actually with you for once. I am projecting myself using my psychic energy. We need more blood rubies. The machine cannot be finished without the set amount.
Trick has begun an investigation. He already suspects we are behind the illegal mining operations. I will have to think of false leads to send his people along to make sure he never reaches the truth.
Just so long as we receive those rubies, the Blood Harvest Ball's preparation is still underway, and we need the machine to be fully functioning as part of the ceremony of the first cut. Do I make myself clear?
I understand, my lord. It shall be so. We shall have the victory we deserve, and Drevin shall have the ball it has always wanted to host as a primary city.
Good. Do not fail me, Governor. I need you alive in order to accomplish my goals. The vampire race is counting upon you.
That's exactly what worries me the most. If I screw this up, Volkov will have my head.
And so, the plot thickens. With the associates of Boris split now between whether or not to continue supporting him or support Volkov, it is going to be an easy task for Volkov to work upon them gradually, and hopefully have them fully loyal by the time of the ball. What of the trinket or artifact dropped by the drunkard and found by Maximus? What is its significance, and moreover, what exactly is it to begin with? Why is it worth a lot of coin? Just how is it even connected to the vampires? Will we ever know for certain? All we know is that it is important to Maximus. And what of the vampire scheme in the forest realm? Just what is the machine that requires crimson rubies designed for? Again, what is the connection between them and the blood harvest? In time, things will become clear, but for now, questions must remain unanswered until the time is right.